We love living on the road, and to make this last, we need to make our money last. Since moving into the camper, we don't make as much as we used to when we lived in our sticks and bricks back in Philly. So today, I'm going to go over all the ways in which we save money on the road. My first tip for saving money on the road is don't eat out. We cook all of our meals at home. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. It is so tempting when you are traveling to stop and get an easy bite to eat. Or when you visit a place, you see a restaurant that looks really good. You want to stop and eat there. But all those stops, all those restaurants, that adds up. The amount of money you can easily spend on one meal at a restaurant, we spend on a week's worth of groceries. So we are cooking at home for every meal. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. We are bringing our meals wherever we go, so we are not tempted to eat out. Now we may occasionally treat ourselves and go out once, but we are most likely eating at home or bringing our home-cooked foods with us. And that also goes with our coffee and tea. It's really easy to stop at a Starbucks or stop at a gas station and pick up a cup of coffee, but even that will add up in the long run. We have these great reusable thermoses that we take wherever we go. We make our coffee at home, we make our tea at home, and that goes with us. Even sometimes we bring that to Starbucks to work. So that's my first tip. Try to eat out as less as possible. So the other ways we save money on the road has to do with the changes we made to our camper. The first change we did is we bought a bigger battery. The battery that came with the camper was just a regular size marine battery. It didn't hold a long charge. We upgraded to a bigger battery. So what does that have to do with saving money on the road? A bigger battery means we can go longer without having to plug the camper in. So we don't have to pay for a more expensive spot that has electricity. So you're probably thinking, you can't last that long on just your battery. It will eventually drain. So what we got is a suitcase solar panel. So this thing plugs into the battery, and during the day I have it pointed at the sun and it will fill up the battery. And then at night, we use as little battery as possible to help the battery last longer. So to help us conserve our battery, we bought these great little solar lights. They're inflatable. Like that. Turn it on, and then we've got lights. So even though the lights in our camper don't take up that much electricity, every little bit helps conserve the battery. So we've got 2 of these that we use at night for our light. So another neat little solar thing we have is this little battery. Now this battery will plug into a mini solar panel and it will charge the battery. And then the battery has this USB port here that we can plug our cell phones into so we can charge our cell phones. The camper's battery does not power the outlets in the camper. So unfortunately, we can't plug anything in. So if we're just on the battery power, we can't charge our phones. So all these little solar things that we bought really help us extend the life of our battery. And the longer we can just live on the battery power alone means we don't have to pay for a site that has electricity. So speaking of paying for sites that have amenities that we may not need, another change that we made to the camper was switching to a composting toilet.
Let's take a moment and share the 5 reasons we love our sponsor, Nature's Head Composting Toilet. 1. Conserve water.
No flushing. It's completely waterless.
2. Save money on campsites.
No more pricey campsites. Boondock more.
3. No more stinky black tank.
You'll thank me later.
4. Dump less.
And with just a few pieces, we're able to double our gray tank.
5. No odor.
No odor!
Grab yours today at natureshead.net. Now back to the video.
So our composting toilet is completely waterless. So we are consuming less water when we are using the bathroom. So we fill our fresh tank up. We have a 40-gallon fresh tank. And now none of that water is getting flushed down the tank, literally. So now our fresh water is only being used for drinking, cooking, washing, all that stuff. And now another neat thing that happened when we switched to the composting toilet is our black tank is now used as a second gray tank. I bought a little diverter, which when the gray tank is full, I just throw some levers and it'll divert it to the black tank. So now I have double the capacity of gray water. Our original gray water tank was only a 20-gallon tank, but now with the black tank being a second gray tank, I've got another 20 gallons of gray water storage. So now I go longer without having to dump. So what does all this mean? It means we can buy campsites that have no amenities whatsoever. We get to a campground, we stop at the fill station, we will fill up our freshwater tank. We go to our spot, we've got our solar panel, we've got our solar things, we're living off the battery. We're living off of our 40 gallons of fresh water that is not being used for the toilet. And now our gray tank is not getting filled as quickly because we have double the capacity. So on our way out, we just stop at the dump station and we dump. So we don't need to pay for a site that has electricity, that has water, that has sewer. Those sites that are just campsites are far more inexpensive than a site with full hookups. So those are the little ways that we save money on the road. We don't eat out, we make our own food, we bring our own coffee. We made changes to the camper so that we don't have to rely on those expensive campsites, and we tend to stay away from privately owned campsites. So if you have any other tips or any other tricks, I'd love to hear them. Leave me a comment. Please like this video and let me know if you try any of the things that we have done. And I will see you next week.
Very nervous. Okay. Like, it's just subscribe and like this video. Thanks for watching today's episode. Am I saying again? Thanks for watching today's episode. Make sure you subscribe. Can you see my hands? Thank you for tuning into today's episode. Oh, there's like naked man running by. You know what? Let's not make it so